All right, everybody. So here we go. Let's start by opening up a Roth IRA. The first thing I did was just type fidelity.com into my search bar, and that brought me here to the bad place. Just kidding. This brought me here to this wonderful place where we're going to be able to open up an investment account. And so the first thing we're going to want to do is come up here to open an account. They're going to give you lots of options. Let's do Roth IRA. Open a Roth IRA. If you wanted to do something different, this is where you would do it. Are you already a Fidelity customer? No. Please enter your name and email address. Click Get Started. All right, so expectedly, it's going to want my personal information at this point. So I'm going to enter in my name, my social security, date of birth, am I a US citizen, phone number, email. Then it's going to want my address. Is this mailing address the same as your legal address? Choose yes or no. All right, so on our next screen, it's going to ask for employment information. And so here, first, select whether you're employed or self-employed, and then depending on which you are, you'll put in that information. So for instance, if you're employed, put in your employer's information. If you're self-employed, put in that information. That's what I'll do. You can open an account if you are not employed, but just so you know, in order to contribute to a Roth IRA in a given year, you do have to have earned income. And so once you've done this and filled in all of the information, come down to associations. Under associations, they're basically just asking you questions to make sure that you don't have any conflicts of interest. So this first question right here is, are you or is an immediate family member who's living in your house employed or associated with somebody who's a broker dealer, works on a stock exchange, is part of FINRA, or works for some other sort of financial institution? If so, you'll need to give them that information. For most of us, the answer will be no. Second question, are you or an immediate family member a director, corporate officer, or a 10% shareholder of a publicly traded company? For most of us, that's also going to be no. And so click no, and then hit next. Next, it's going to ask you a few quick questions about how we want the account set up. So first, it's asking you about a core position. Basically, what this means is when you transfer money into your account and it's just sitting in cash before you do something with it, where do you want it to go? That's your core position. This is not really that important because with the Roth IRA, at least for most of us, we'll want to get that money invested as soon as possible. And so it really won't spend a lot of time in this core position, which just happens to be cash. Here, the automatic default option is what is called a money market fund. When you see the word money market fund, what that essentially just means is it is a fund that holds cash. So money market fund, you can think of it as cash. And so we've selected that here. Next, it's going to ask you for your email preferences. Would you like to receive your financial documents electronically? Of course, let's save a tree. Subscribe to Fidelity Viewpoints. Do you want a mailer, a weekly email in your inbox from Fidelity? I'm going to say no to any additional inbox pollution, but that's just me. Sorry, Fidelity. And then let's click next. So next, review the information that you already gave them. And then at the bottom, you're going to click confirm my information. Next, agree to terms. So here are all the documents that go along with opening up an account. A lot of legal stuff here. And so you should read these. And so I encourage you to go through these and understand what it is that you're opening. They can send you all of these forms via electronic delivery. And so that's what I'm going to do. Just send them to me electronically, and I can review them at my leisure. And so by opening an account below, I'm acknowledging that I'm the person that's named in the application. I've been provided with these documents. I completely understand the documents. They're all cool with me. And that I agree to electronically signing the application when I click open account. And so now I'm going to click open account. Yeah, baby. My account is ready to fund. Here is my account number. I'm going to go ahead and write that down for future reference, just in case I'm going to need it. You can print this page if you'd like. And then next, what we're going to do is set up a username and a password so that we can get going on building out our account. All right, so now we're going to fund my account. I thought that we already saw this screen, but that's okay. Let's get some money into my account so I can place a trade. Here are my options. So the first is set up a one-time transfer of money from my bank account, like for instance, just sending $100 one time. Set up a recurring transfer from a bank account. So for example, sending $100 each month. We can roll over an old workplace plan, well, not with a Roth IRA, or transfer an account from another firm. Okay, so we could do that if we had a Roth IRA at, say, American funds that we wanted to transfer in. We would make this selection. Or we can download, print, and mail a paper transfer form. We don't want to do that. So I'm going to set up a recurring transfer from a bank account. Why not? And so now it brings me to this screen where, yes, my Roth IRA is listed here, but it says no automatic transfers or investments have been set up for this account. Let's do this. These teeny tiny letters over here, set up an automatic transfer or investment. So here it reminds me that I do not have a bank account linked to Fidelity, not quite yet, that's okay. Let's set up an electronic funds transfer. So let's add a bank account here. All right, how would I like to transfer money in? EFT is an option where there's going to be no fee. You can also choose a bank wire. That's going to be faster. It says no fee, but that means there's no fee on the Fidelity side. I'd make sure that there's no fee on your banking side. Generally with an EFT, there's never going to be a fee on either side. Which account would I like to link this bank to? Well, let's hook it up to my Roth IRA. And then next, select the bank account I'd like to link. Let's link a new account. Who owns the bank account? I am the owner. I'm going to do it from checking, but you could do savings or business. Now I'm going to enter in my bank account information. After I put in my bank account information, I'll hit agree and continue. Yay, so my bank account was linked. Now that wasn't too hard, now was it? And so just remember when you're going through this process, have that routing number and account number ready to go. Next steps. What I want to do next is transfer money now. All right, so it popped me into this screen where it wants me to select where I'm transferring the money from. So it's that checking account I just entered in that's newly hooked up. And then where I'm going to transfer to, I want it to go to my new Roth IRA. Then it wants you to choose a date. So I'm going to choose today's date. And then it gives you a reminder of how much money you can put into a Roth IRA each year, which is $6,000. Today I'm doing $300. All right, here's the summary. And let's submit. All right, so now my transfer is complete. Here's a summary of that. I thought it was going to ask me to set up a reoccurring transfer because that's what I initially elected, but it did not. And so let's go figure out how to do that too, because that $300 is just going to be a one-time move. All right, so from here, I'm going to try going to automatic investments to set up an automatic deposit into my account. set up an automatic transfer or investment, transfer funds from an external bank account. Okay, great. Transfer from my checking account, that's what we want. Transfer to your brokerage core account, that's also what we want. So let's say $25 a month for now. All right, so then it pops us into this screen. So set up an automatic investment. And so first it wants to know transferring from where. That's transferring from my checking account. And it's transferring to my brokerage core account. That's fine. A brokerage account is basically a way to say an investment account, which my Roth IRA is. I'm going to add $25 a month to get started. You could do any amount here up to that $6,000 annual maximum. So next we need to pick an investment schedule. And so I'm going to say monthly. I want that $25 to come in monthly. And on what day of the month? Let's just make it easy and do the first. When do we want it to stop? No stop. Let's just keep it going. Verify automatic investment setup. Sure. Okay, that looks fine. I agree. Thank you, and instructions have been received. And so on the 1st of November, I will have my first automatic monthly contribution sent to my account. All right, so now we are ready to actually go in and place a trade. And so what I did was I just logged back into Fidelity using my password that I set up last week. And what that did was that pulled up a summary of my accounts, and here is my Roth IRA. And so this is a screen that you should get familiar with. This is what it's going to look like when you're logged into your account. And this is your account right here. And now you have to decide what you're going to do with it. And so you'll see first that the cash is available, right? You can see here the cash is available, 325, 325. That's from the 300 one-time transfer I transferred in. And then I also set up that 25 automatic transfer on the beginning of each month, on the first of each month. And so now I have $325 to work with. And so now that the money is actually sitting in the account, right, like the money has to be there before you can turn around and then buy something. And so now it's time to actually place a trade. So this is where it starts to get a little bit juicy. And so with Fidelity, what you'll do is you actually come up here to this trade button right here. Always look for something like trade or buy, sell, or transact. Because what we're going to do is we're actually going to place a trade. This trade just happens to be a buy trade. All right, so then it brings up this information, or this screen here, and this is where you're actually going to put in the information about what it is that you're going to buy. As you all know, in this class, I'm going to be showing you how to buy an ETF and how to buy a stock. It's going to be a very similar process, and that's because both stocks and ETFs trade on the exchange, which means that we can get minute-by-minute price updates on what that stock costs or what that ETF costs when the market is open, which the market is only open weekdays from 9 to 4 Eastern time. That said, you can place a trade at any point. It just won't go in until the market is open. And so, for example, right now I am filming this on a Sunday. The market is not necessarily open, and so this trade will actually get placed tomorrow morning when the market opens. But anyways, here's how you would do this. So first, let's buy an ETF. The one that I'm going to be buying today is this one, this iShares Core S&P Total US Stock Market Fund. So with this ETF, or exchange traded fund, we are essentially buying into the entire US stock market. So with one fund, I'm buying pretty much every stock in the United States. And so it is a very diversified fund. You would buy something like this if your goal was to simply return whatever the average of the US stock market is over time, which we know that at least historically, it's been pretty generous. And so this is a super easy way to do that, super low cost way to actually get that exposure to the stock market and just be along for the stock market ride. And so something important to note, this right here, ITOT, is what we call a ticker symbol or a stock identifier or an ETF identifier. Always remember what it's like usually like 2, 3, 4, or 5 letters. Remember what that is. That's its identifier on the exchange. And that's how we will tell Fidelity that that's what we want to buy. All right, so it pulls up this screen for me, and this is where I'm actually gonna place my order. So first, I'm gonna choose a transaction type. What am I buying? I'm buying an ETF, so that's perfect. If you were doing a mutual fund, you'd select here. So I'm gonna do an ETF, and then I'm gonna put in my symbol, which is ITOT, and it should bring it up for me. Yep, there it is. So my total US stock market ETF. It also very conveniently gives me a price. It is, as of, well, last Friday's close of the market, it costs $69.22. Okay, great. I've got, remember, $325 to spend, and so how many of these shares do I want to buy? I'm going to buy 2 for now. So next, go to Action and say Buy, and I'm going to put in 2, and that means that I'm going to be buying 2 at $70 about a piece, so that's going to cost me $140. If you needed help doing the calculation to see how many shares maybe you can afford, then there's always going to be a calculator right here. Here is one thing about buying both stocks and ETFs. At Fidelity and at most brokerage banks that's important to realize is that you do have to be able to afford a full share, right? So you could not buy the share if you only had $25 or $50. If you're looking for a way to invest with smaller amounts, then look into the mutual fund options. With mutual funds are kind of brilliant because you can buy what we call partial or fractional shares and just use whatever dollar amount that you have available. But with stocks and ETFs, because it is like basically this parcel, this thing that trades on the exchange, you have to be able to buy a full one. And so you need enough money to be able to afford whatever share of that ETF or stock it is that you're looking to purchase. So for today, I'm going to buy 2 of these shares. Next, I need to choose the order type. I'm going to choose market order. A market order, just so you know, is probably the most common type of trade that you can place within an account. Basically, with an order type, what we are doing is we are indicating to Fidelity how we want this trade to go down. And there's a couple of different options. With a market order, what you are saying is that I just want you to place this trade as soon as possible. That's it. And so therefore, I am willing to take whatever price this ETF is trading at. So because I'm currently actually filming this on a Sunday, the market is not actually open right now. And so that means that this order won't go in until Monday morning, and that's fine. But it does mean that that ETF could be a little bit more expensive, or it could be a little bit cheaper by the time that the market opens and orders are being placed, including mine. It does happen very quickly, a market order, but it is not instantaneous. And because these numbers are always moving, that these prices are always moving in the market, you always just want to make sure when you're placing a market order that you give yourself some cash buffer, knowing that this might not cost $69.22 when my order actually goes through. And so if you wanted to place a trade that was focusing on, instead of speed, but like, let's say precision of price, like you wanted to say, like, I only want to buy this ETF if it drops below $69 per share, you would place a limit order. I don't generally place limit orders. I just use market orders because I'm here to invest for the long term. And so I say, let's just buy the damn thing. And so just place it as soon as possible at whatever price the market opens at or is trading at while I place this order. And so I'm going to do a market order, and then time in force, I'm going to say day. That just means that I want it to go through the day that I place the trade. So that will be Monday for me.
preview order. All right, it does give you that warning. Please use caution when placing market orders while the market is closed, like right now. If placed, your order will be eligible for trading on the following business day. Securities, aka that ETF, may open sharply below or above where they closed in the previous trading day. And so, yeah, just what I had just mentioned to you. Just give yourself some cash buffer, knowing that it could be a little bit different when the market opens. And so here's a summary. This order is to buy 2 shares of ITOT with a market order. It'll expire tomorrow, Monday, at the close of market. And so here, estimated order value, it's going to be $138.44. Commission, no commission trades at Fidelity any longer, which is great. And then here's the total value. And so that's how much is going to be deducted from my $325. We're ready to do it. So let's place order. Order received. Yay, we did it. It's as simple as that. So your order is received in your Roth IRA. It's been submitted, and my shares will be purchased tomorrow when the market opens. All right, I'm going to enter another order. All right, so now I'm going to show you how to buy a stock, which is going to be the exact same process, because again, stocks and ETFs trade in the same way. In fact, that's why ETFs were created, was so that they trade like a stock on the exchange, whereas mutual funds trade a little bit differently. And so now I'm going to pick a transaction type, stock ETFs. Let's put in the symbol. Okay, so today I'm going to buy Target stock, TGT. If Target's going to be getting all of our money, then I want to invest in that stock. So Target, okay, so Target is going to cost $107.82 for 1 share of Target. That's fine. I have that amount of money left over in my Roth IRA. And so next I'm going to do the same thing where I choose what I want to do. I want to buy it. I can afford 1 share. I'm going to select a market order. Time in force, just day. Yep. Preview order. Done. All right, so here's that similar summary. And so same as last time, I'm buying 1 share of Target with a market order. So it'll go in probably tomorrow morning. Here's the estimated order value, $107.82. That's how much 1 share costs. The commission is nada. Again, no more commissions. This is new as of a few weeks ago over at Fidelity. And we're going to place order. Done. All right, so now I want to show you one more thing. That's how you do an ETF. That's how you do a stock. Again, that process is very similar, but I know you only signed up to see an ETF and a stock, but I do want to show you one more thing. I just want to show you how to buy a mutual fund as well. So let's, in this example, oh, how convenient. It actually tells me how much money that I have left after placing those last 2 trades. So cash available to trade, I've got $78. I don't want to use it all because remember, I want to give myself some buffer, but I don't need probably that much buffer. And so let's spend some of that cash on a mutual fund. And so in this example, what I want to do is show you the mutual fund that's basically the exact same thing as that ETF I just bought, but just in mutual fund form. So a mutual fund that's going to buy you into the entire US stock market. And so here at Fidelity, that's going to be FZROX. That's the ticker. And so here, okay, so what do I want to do? Transaction type mutual funds, FZROX. All right, so here it is, total market index fund, and it is a US stock market index fund. And so you'll see here that the price is really low, $10.89. It doesn't actually even really matter because what I can do again with a mutual fund is just use whatever dollar amount I want, no matter what the price is, which is kind of a nice aspect of using a mutual fund as compared to using an ETF or even a stock. So what do I want to do? I want to buy. I just enter in the dollar amount, super easy, as opposed to remember saying how many shares I want. So like, let's just do $30. Here's a summary again. Buy $30 of Fidelity Zero Total Stock Market Index Fund. The estimated order value is $30. and then place order. Super easy, right? Mutual funds are actually a little bit easier because they trade differently than an ETF or a stock. They trade only once a day, and you just really only need to indicate what dollar amount that you want to buy. And so for somebody that's just getting started, like let's say you only have $25 or $50, I like doing a mutual fund just because it allows you to get all of that money invested right away. And so that's it. That's how you do all of the above.